and it's thinking, and we're live.
Hi, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as Jane Emma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 400. What?
Wow.
I know, right? Lots of round numbers. We were just talking about ZK is 90 days away, and
oh my goodness,
this is episode 400. So some round numbers today. Yeah, no, I don't know. Looking back on how our lives have changed and how things have gone, I guess I'm not surprised that we're at 400. But I don't know that when we sat on this couch and decided to hit record and put it out on the internet that we thought we'd get to 400. So
right. Yeah, it's definitely feels like an accomplishment.
An accomplishment, and then just like wow, okay, we've been doing this for there was a long bit where we weren't doing it weekly, right? So that constitutes lots of years, and we've celebrated those lots of years and episodes past, right? But yeah, just a chunk of work, right? Or just a chunk of like content to watch.
Yeah, 400. Yeah.
I don't know which chapter, like if we broke it into 100 chapters, I would be like, those are the ones that you should really, we were very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at the beginning, really excited about podcasting. I feel like our knitting excitement hasn't dissipated.
Mm-hmm.
I probably look at things a little bit different. Everything isn't brand new and shiny as it once was, but
right.
Still excited every day about knitting. So that's why we continue to do it. So excited about our community and the things that we're doing, including you said you had a Instagram that you were trying to put out about all of our craft alongs.
Well, yeah, and I should probably say something because it's 4.5 minutes and I don't know how I'm going to break it up because I'm not technology, like I do it in my day job, but when you talk about like new stuff, like I don't TikTok and putting things on, Instagram that Instagram doesn't support. It's like, oh, I have to grok this. I don't want to grok this. But anyway, all that to say is that we have some time left. So if you want to enter our craft your own book venture, our first drawings for that will be in April, early April, drawing for the first quarter. We have 5 categories and you need to hit 3 of those to get into this drawing. But if we have enough participation, we might draw per category. So get those entries in, tell a friend, it all counts. You can have 1 whip that was from 2022 or earlier, and then 2 that are started fresh this year in 2023. And I guess the other exciting news is if you go out to that form, we have a list of 5 new categories.
Yes, 5 new challenges there. Also, I added a new event in Discord. So if you're on Discord, again, like new technology things, like it feels like our self-striping one, because it's a year-long, kind of is always the one sitting at top. So you may need to go drill into the events that we have. So we have the first quarter challenges in one, and then the second quarter challenges in another. Again, it's cumulative. So if there's something, you won't be in the first quarter drawings if you do a first quarter thing in the second quarter, but it's still cumulative. So you can get your little check mark for quarter 1, or if there's something you started in quarter 1 and haven't quite finished, there's still time. But again, the drawings are time boxed. So yeah, the new categories are super fun. I'll give huge props to Amy. She came up with most of these with a slight assist or edit from me. So there's a classic, which is craft from deep stash. I know that there are people out there that have stashes that are not very deep, right? So if your oldest stash is like a year-ish old, then it's a year-ish old yarn. If your stash is the oldest stash that you have is many, many years old, then choose from that deepest part of the well.
Yeah, again, if you carry a really large stash, like I've been collecting yarn for 10 years or more, so to me, it's like, well, anything that I put in there 5 years ago, it's going to feel like an accomplishment to have pulled it out. So whatever makes you feel like I reached back in my Wayback Machine and I grabbed this yarn that was making me happy so long ago and I turned it into a beautiful object. That counts.
Yep. It counts. It counts. There's also editor's note, which is modifying a pattern. I count things like adding stripes as modifying a pattern in my mind. So like a musil burl where you've added, the changing of the stripes on, that's modifying a pattern. That's taking something that was written up to be one color and kind of including your own ingenuity in it.
Another popular modification for people is adding their preferred heel into a sock. So that is a modification.
Yes, I love it. We also have Children's Lit, which is craft a project for a child. Out in Discord, we already had the question of like, but what if it could be for a child, but it's actually for me? Child at heart also works. So if you're making a stuffy and it's going to end up going to an adult, whether that's you or somebody else. I know, Amy, you've made stuffies for other adults. Still counts. It's a child's project. Large print is something with yarn weight heavier than worsted. So that's like bulky, chunky, super bulky. I guess you could make something with like the arm knitting weight. I don't know what that one's called.
Right. Well, just do note that it is a minimum of 100 yards per project. So just that's the only thing that you need to think about when using those bulky or child projects. We do allow you to knit more than one and count it as one project though. So if you had stuffies, but they were really small and you're like, oh, this is only 50 yards, you could make 2 of them and count them as one project.
I want to make a really big something. So I can get my 100 yards, but yeah, lots of smalls do add up to one big large. And the last one is plot holes. So something with lace.
Yes. And that was Megan's contribution. I like it. You purposely put holes in it and it's a plot twist or plot hole. Sorry.
Yeah. Last time we had plot twists. So maybe the quarters will have everything about one of the categories being plot. So yeah, we're excited about it. I think both of us are, speaking of plotting, already kind of like, I know I heard putting a different heel in. So yeah, making sure that, and again, we always encourage, double dipping. You can't double dip on the categories, one project per category, one category per project. But you can count it for all kinds of different, if Wool and Pine is doing a KAL, if Shayna Lines is doing a KAL, if the Beavalong is happening with Magpie and you've got some beaver yarn. Yeah, there's all kinds of, and you can also cross between self-striping and our craft your own book venture. Yes. So yeah, hit all of the things. ZK.
I'm actually doing that next quarter because I'm going to use a book and it's going to be self-striping pattern. I'm basically going to follow you and do the fun house.
Well, it's so fun. So fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Shayna Lines, some of my whips today are Shayna Lines patterns. So we're beyond excited about our KALs. Please keep participating. The fun new dashboards are really cute. Please go and see them and partake, spread the word. We're going to have some prizes and we want to have more people enter their lovely FOs so we can ooh and ah. I mean, that's part of the KAL experience, right? It's just seeing what everybody else is knitting. So
absolutely. Yeah. And being inspired. I am trying to, so I really like the cleanness of the current dashboards. If you could actually go to the spreadsheet, the little check mark is a link to the project. Because again, I really want people to be able to see all of the projects. But unfortunately, in the translation into our webpage, that link isn't coming through. So going to have to try to figure out either adding another column and it gets a little messy, or maybe just having a separate page where you can peruse everybody's like, oh, somebody posted their Instagram picture of what they've done. Because I do, like you said, I really enjoy seeing all of the projects, and I get to see that because I'm verifying and giving people their little check boxes or check marks, but not everybody can. So improvement coming for the dashboard. All that to say.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into some whips.
Yeah, I was going to say we're running out of time. I have the split decision hat, and I am using some hand spun that I bought from Jenna 716 Knit off of her truck.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that's the vertical, and then I have the horizontal going on here. I was kind of sad that it went from all of this like variety to like blue here, but that's the nature of hand spun. So I have that going.
Do you think that's the same like cadence of stripe? It's just because you have far less stitches that you're going back and forth on? Oh, okay.
No. This is definitely a much larger chunk than any of the ones previous. And it could be that this is several bumps in one, right? It had a lot of yardage in it. So I just got to a different little piece there.
Not that I'm encouraging you to rip it out, but you could like alternate like a couple of rows and from different, I guess. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could deconstruct your ball. And okay, it's a bigger lift.
Yeah. I decided to ball this up because it's more fun. And then a cake would have been nice. I could have pulled from the other end to get that variety, but I didn't. So we got this. But again, like the way that
it's fun in the juxtaposition of the other direction, right? Yeah.
You know, and again, as designed, right, you can kind of have this be like, I don't know, you don't have to have it all blue. You can make it kind of fun there. And then, of course, I messed my hair up. But my other Shayna line pattern that I have been working on is a recalibrate. And this is my first one. Everybody has been working on these, and I've seen so many of them, but this is mine. So I've got some lavender loon with schlub and sparkle. So the two different yarns in here, but same colorway. And then I have this lovely, I don't know, it's a spare yarn that I found. I don't know where it's from, to be honest. I would have to find the other part because it was a significant amount of ball left to be the coordinating. And
that's fun. Legend holds that she found that under a bridge and took it home. And but just random. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a nice kind of has a patina to it, like almost like a steel with a little bit of patina.
Yep. Loving that. And then I have your pattern. This is a summer shandy.
Yes. So Lynn last night was also showing off her Fangirl Fibers colorway from last year, which is now Keenan, right? And that color, I think I have to get mine out. I got 2 skeins of it and do something with it. Like, it's so pretty, Amy.
So it's showing up a little bit more blue, intense in the picture, or
I see a lot of oranges and pinks, but
I mean the purple, I guess. Yeah, the purple is more purple than it's showing you. But and then last but not least, I have a pressed flowers.
Ooh, and you're on the sleeves.
I have a sleeve. So yeah, that is what the main body looks like.
You decided to stick with the 3 colors, is that right? Or did you add more?
No, three colors. And so I guess a little bit of detail that I can share is that this is 1.5. This is 1.5, but then breaking up this one into a half flower didn't work. It looked too much of a hard cut. So with that hard cut, I had to jump to a new flower. So then I'm going 1.5 to a 1.5, 1.5, 2, and then 1.5, and then 2 or 3.
Got it.
I'm staggering. So then it goes gradient and then back out again. It's not restarting.
Got it.
Does this make sense? It's going 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
2, 3. Yeah. Okay. So
I caught it, but I'm glad you added the numbers.
yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So if that helps people with adding in the colors, basically the pattern I did do a half of the color 3 flower, and it did not look good. So ripped it back and started fresh. So
best laid plans and all that.
Yeah, wasn't too bad, and it is a really fun pattern. I'm losing steam on the sleeves, but because you would think the sleeve would be done by now as long as I've had this started. But this pattern's really fun.
Yep.
So I want and the yarn, right? It's like, oh, the hand spun. It's so much fun to see how it changes. And anyway, so those are my whips.
Excellent. I am so I finished up a lot of things this past weekend watching basketball. But the things that I have remaining, I started a pair of mitts with the Fun House pattern on them. So this is basically worked in just like the socks, in fact, a similar count, except for I added what was the heel gusset as the thumb. In between the two, and then I on the other side started it. On one side it was after the beginning of the round or at the end of the round, and on the other it was in the middle of the round, so that you could have the same. Again, it's really hard to tell, but if you focus on the dots in the middle of the motif, like that is with the contrast color, and this is with the main color as that dot in the middle. So it's a flip motif with the contrast color and the main color being opposite ends of the motif, or opposite sides of the motif flipped. And it's like that on the sock as well. But I didn't want to have it like this. I didn't want to have like them have a different top. You could, again, it's a choice you could make, just like some of the choices you were making. I wanted them to be really long. Here in Minnesota, I like having my mitts go clear down into the sleeve of my coat. So, I mean, I probably could have started the thumb like right away after the ribbing, especially as long of a ribbing as I made. But I do like that it fits well down over and I'm getting warm even just wearing them. And then, yeah, a little bit of ingenuity is going to need to be made, because this is kind of, other than kind of completing what the heel gusset looked like, which again, it was big and then worked down to small. Gonna have to, I mean, it's kind of an easy motif to follow for the thumb, but it's gonna take some designing. Like that piece isn't provided for
right
when you turn a sock into a mitten. And then, yeah, at the top, I just stopped in the middle of the motif and went like, oh yeah, and now I can follow the line of that with the top of the mitten. So yeah, super fun. Had enough of the self striping that I was like, I feel like I could add it in as the color work on this. And then I had the extra Sun Valley fibers in this beautiful light blue. I feel like it's coming across maybe not as steely as it actually is. I look very blue today. I don't.
Yeah. Your contrast looks white to me, or
really?
very pale.
Yeah. No, it's kind of a steely blue. So yeah, got to add some thumbs there. I'm excited about that. And then I can wear my hands and feet will be covered. So there's that. And then, yeah, I've been working on a metamorphic with some Mitchell's Creation and the Shameless colorway. And then Jenna's 716, she had the 3-part, the 3-pack in our goodie bag. Camp here, I believe this is a camp color. So the one that's at the top of the yoke didn't get used as much, obviously, here. And then I'm running dangerously close, but I'm on my second sleeve. So this is it's knit inside out. So right now you can't really see the cool bit, which is that, here, let me turn it inside out. So the purl side is what goes on the outside. And then, there's that line all the way down. But yeah, I started out with this one. And then I mixed in for many, many rows, this one, and then did it by itself for a bit, and then started mixing in the blue, and then ended with just the blue for a bit. And I'm doing something similar on the sleeves, except for the sleeves, I know that it'll be longer, especially for my arms, than the body. So added some extra back and forths. So yeah, the blue was really interesting. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I'm zen with it, but I feel like at a certain point, somebody might look at me and be like, did you like put your arm in some Kool-Aid, or like, drink some Kool-Aid and all of a sudden go. Yeah. So, and last night all of the ends were starting to drive me bonkers. And so when that happens, I'm like, weave in all the ends. So most of the ends have been woven in, other than on the sleeve where I want to be able to see, like, be able to count, right? Have a physical marker of where I started it for the other one. But yeah, it's fun. It does remind me of a record, especially with all of this contrast. Like, I've seen ones that are a little more monochrome. And it doesn't give that so much of a round and round and round. But the thing that I really like with this pattern, as far as being able to swap, is on those every other round where you're slipping the stitch. Again, I feel like I'm not giving too much away from the pattern. That seems pretty obvious to me, but anyway, that's a nice place where it's at the beginning of the round, so you're swapping the yarn, right? So it gets hidden in the, I don't know, there's a lot of tips and tricks about helical knitting and how you can do that and whatever. And this, like, one stitch that gets slipped and the other yarn comes across, or you end up purling it versus knitting it, is it's a nice boundary to do that. I feel like it's pretty clean. And I can't even, the back of it. Yeah, I was showing you the back of it. There's extra rows in the.
Yeah, I agree that, like, whenever somebody puts in that faux seam, like just a purl row that's a faux seam,
it's a nice place.
That's a great place to hide things like that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, this is the back where I was doing my swapping, and I have woven in ends, but it's just a nice clean place. And you don't get the jog either, right? Because it's hidden behind that one stitch. And yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm knitting this on fingering, which is much lighter than the pattern is written for. I think it's written for a DK and a sport combo. Yeah. But I'm really liking, again, the drapiness and the general, just the general feel of the fabric that's being created using the same size needles. Again, I didn't swatch, so I just kind of tried it on as I went and went, oh, this is going to work. And yeah, it's plenty big. So it's got a lot of stretch of that fingering on 6s. So, yeah, no, I think I'm excited to have this done. I feel like when I finish the mittens, it will be when it will officially be spring here, and we'll start getting some warmer. So that's my plan to bring.
We'll finish them sooner, so we.
My plan to bring spring and the warmer temps is to finish some mittens. But yeah, I just a heads up, next week, unless Amy and I are podcasting earlier in the week. So, the next chapter of 100, I will be heading out on spring break. So it'll probably be a good 2 weeks before you see us again, unless Amy and I are able to get one in early next week. So,
okay.
Yeah. Then we'll have a lot of favorite things. I know I've got some woolens and nosh in the mail, as do you. I'm hoping we've ordered some Beavalong yarn. as well as some prizes. So hoping that hits the mail sometime soon.
Yeah, I would like to get something started for the Be Belong. I'm very tempted to go into my stash and start a shawl, but I'm holding off because the yarn that I bought this time around was the one I wanted to use.
Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, Uvta.